Major crime detectives are hunting a killer following the savage murder of a 22-year-old woman at Quorn in the state's mid-north. Neighbours say the well-known camel rider was bashed to death a short distance from her home.
A horse rider discovered Jessie Lee Fullerton's body on Groves Road just before 4 o'clock this morning. She was just 70 metres from her home.
She was found lying side of a car on the road.
The 22-year-old childcare worker who had dwarfism was widely known and respected in the community.
She was a nice girl, God, wouldn't hurt a fly, She'd do anything for you, because she was only tiny and she had no hope in hell of defending herself.
She lived with her grandparents. Loved ones can't understand why anyone would want to hurt her.
She had so many friends, and she could see home from where they found her, and that's the most devastating part.
She'd be the last person I would think that someone would want to hurt.
Detectives say Jessie was drinking with a group of people at Quorn hotels till about 10 o'clock last night. They want anyone who knows her movements after that to come forward. There'll be an increased police presence in the town to reassure residents they're not at risk. Detectives have this message for the killer.
Now's the time to come forward. We will be relentless in our investigation for the person or persons responsible for this.
Whoever's done this, by Christ, he want to look out. Yeah, he's got it coming.
Pkg Quorn, 7 News.
Good evening. 3 people have died in a horror smash on the Barrier Highway, about 300 kilometres north of Adelaide. The 2 cars crashed head-on, leaving no survivors.
Investigators aren't yet sure why, but on this straight stretch of road in clear weather at around 8 a.m. this morning, the 2 cars crashed head-on at high speed and 3 lives were lost in an instant. An elderly man and woman in their 70s were travelling in the sedan heading west, while the 4-wheel drive, driven by a man in his late 50s, was heading east. It's believed he was heading home to Broken Hill. A passing motorist came across the crash scene within minutes and called for help, but it was too late.
Officer in charge of Yunta Police Station, he was on scene about 8:35 a.m. He's only 25 kilometres east of this location.
Major crash investigators travelled to the remote location and spent the day trying to piece together how things went so horribly wrong.
It is unfortunate and it'll affect those people that have lost these loved ones. It'll affect them greatly.
Police say it's a tragic reminder for motorists to be extra careful when travelling on country roads.
Just to be alert, and drive safely and appropriately, and then and if you're driving long distances, rest every 2 hours.
Meanwhile, a mother rolled her car just north of Gladstone this morning whilst taking 4 children to netball. An 18-month-old boy thrown from the vehicle was airlifted to the Royal Adelaide Hospital in a serious condition, along with a 10-year-old girl. A 5-year-old and an 8-year-old were also injured. The state's road toll now stands at 61 compared to 73 for the same time last year. In Yunta, Roscoe Whalen, 7 News.
Mystery surrounds the death of a man whose 4-wheel drive rolled into the water near Goolwa last night. Rescue crews and fishermen bravely tried to save him, but their efforts were futile.
Just after 8:30 last night, campers saw a Toyota Land Cruiser drive straight into the Murray mouth.
I was pretty sure it had gone in, so I ran over and checked it out, and sure enough it did.
The 4-wheel drive quickly disappeared beneath the waves. Emergency crews were called while fishermen mounted their own rescue.
Me and Pavey ran down here. A couple of our mates followed up with full drives and winches. We were going to try and get out there. We organised the boat to try and drag the winches out.
But it was all in vain. When they reached the driver, he was already dead.
Down here, everyone's having a good time fishing and all that, and yeah, something like this happened, it sort of ruins, you know it.
Emergency crews retrieved the Land Cruiser shortly after 3 o'clock this morning. The man's fishing rod was still attached to the front. Witnesses say they saw the man earlier in the afternoon looking worse for wear. He was slouched over his car and struggling to breathe. Police will investigate the possibility he had a heart attack. They say his death isn't suspicious and have all but ruled out suicide. A report's being prepared for the coroner. Tom Wilson, 7 News.